what I painted yesterday, still on the pad. So that, or Monday, whatever. Anyway, so this is the original of this guy. So I'm going to try to do kind of sort of the same stuff. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out, I take this, remember how they took this line that goes down here, and they took a line that from the other side of the street that goes this way. So can you see both of those? Where this meets right here, where this angle comes down, I can find the horizon line really easy. This is going to come down. All these are going to point to this dot right here. And that's going to be my horizon line. And because there's my horizon line going across here. And the reason that these people are basically pretty much the same height, all their heads are on the same horizon line, is because that's my eye level. That's my eye level. So if I go above that, the horizon is still there, but my eye level changes. I can look down, I can squat down and look up. And then I'm looking, that makes the buildings wowier, and all these people could get more foreshortened, the same as in that one little foreshortening video. I'm looking down on the people, so their heads are closer to me, so they're going to be bigger. But we're just doing this for now. So if I say, okay, my horizon line actually is kind of sort of halfway through here. So it's about there. And I'm going up here to see kind of where it is. And I think it's right about here is where I'm going to make it. So that's going to be my horizon line. I mean, my vanishing point, excuse me. There's my horizon line. Here's my vanishing point. And I'm on my way. Those are the two things that I have to figure out. And of course, the third thing would be the light source. Well, this is actually pretty flat light. I don't see much shadow on anybody. So it's kind of a June gloom, even though it's New York. So I see that this street goes down kind of to there, and there's another building down there. So that's kind of my starting point of just putting down a couple of verticals. And that street is going to go down all the way, and that walk ends about right in the corner. So there's a one line, and all these buildings, and I'm just faking these buildings. Here's this guy coming down, and they're all going to the vanishing point. All of them are going to the vanishing point. Where this line comes up, that's going to determine, based on this reference, that's going to determine the side of this building over here. So, and so this is my walkway line. This is going to be my street line over here. So I'm going to bring that up a little bit. So that's going to be the side of that building. And I'm just going to fake the street going across, which is about right through here. That's the sidewalk. So I'm getting my sea legs as far as what this street looks like. And again, we're not doing a street that's necessarily, it's not about the street. So I'm going to do the other side now, and here's my vanishing point. I'm going to draw a line from there out. So it's like a fan. And so here's a building, here's a vertical, here's the side of a building, here's another building, going down the street. Here's a shorter building. Again, I'm not guessing. I'm using this. I've already got it, so why not use it? And this is going down the street. So here's the sidewalk over here. Here's the edge of the buildings. And here's my horizon line where all this stuff sits. I am going to put this line in, and I'll show you why I did that is because now I have something to make all these white lines. And you see that these are bigger as they go back, they get thinner, and there's the same thing with the space in between. So I'm just going to fake that for now, just so I remember to leave some white paper there. And I've got some trucks, some vehicles on the street over here. So I'll just put in a couple of quick shapes. And I don't have any showing over here. I don't care about these flags. I don't care about any of that other stuff at this point. I do care about this big window. And because it's a one-point perspective, all my horizontals, I don't have 2 points of perspective going like that. It's 1 point. So all of these guys are just going to be horizontal on plane. So there's a vertical and there's a horizontal. The only perspective that I have is a 1 point perspective. There's that window, and here's my sidewalk over there. And now I can start putting some people in. I'm going to start putting in, and I'll put this person walking here with this blue cap on. So I'm going to put that in there, but I'm going to put that torso, and it looks like she is carrying something. She's carrying this bag for sure. And her coat is obviously a winter setting. And this leg is raised from the other one because she's stepping forward with it. And this one is pretty much on the ground. That bag's over her shoulder. And so there's I'll make that arm. So there's a person with a coat on walking down there, and that's really all I need. And then I can put some other figure walking here, a lady walking here with her coat on and her hands in her pockets. So that kind of sort of looks like that. And she's stepping out with her leg and back with the other one. So you see how I'm starting to build a little scene here. All these other people are just part of that scene. Somebody with a hood on, I'm going to make a coat. Here's the torso, and that's going to be, they're going to be in front of this person. This person is the biggest figure. They're walking into the scene, and this one is not going to make much difference. And I'm doing this on purpose because I want to, I'm trying to show you something about how I'm going to paint this. I'm going to paint this as a group, as a big shape. I'm not going to paint it individually. I'm not going to paint individual figures. I've got these two people And there's a big collar up. And again, I've got my torso, I've got my arms out, hands in pockets. I've got that coat on. I've got this figure, which is kind of interesting because it's going away. And that leg is lifted, and this leg is the one that's got the center of gravity over it. This leg. And you need that, otherwise that person would be falling over. So I'm going to group these people carrying a backpack, whatever. There's a leg coming out. Here's one, once again, being lifted. I want this leg to be the stable leg. That's the one walking away, and this person over here, I'll make that, I'm going to make that one a little bit bigger just to make it a little more interesting. Hands in the pockets, very simple as far as your arms go. That leg is separating a little bit. Again, this is my leg with the center of gravity. And so that's enough people. That's a lot of people. And here I have somebody coming into the scene over here. And I can do that very simply. And she's carrying a bag. And this person behind her is kind of running. And so I'm just going to put a shape that looks like that person is running. So I think that's enough of everything for this. Here's my vanishing point. Here's some windows up there. Here's the facade that I can paint. And here's some whatever. There's plenty of stuff. Well, here is a interesting part. Here's the light pole with street sign on it. And that's going to be West 39th. That's what that's all about. And a little one-way sign and a walk sign. Cool. So when you're doing the city, it gets a little bit more involved than what you're used to as far as landscapes. I would have already had the mountains with a quick swipe of my pencil. So this gets a little more complicated, but it'll be worth it in the end. I hope you all can see that. So I'm just going to take this and mix up some warm color. I'm going to try some, just some raw sienna. See how that goes. You see I have a bunch of it over this building so far. And I'm just trying to get some color on here, some color down. And I'm going to paint that background warmer. I'll paint this whole background warmer. And I don't care about any of these people. I'm just trying to get the sense of depth, the sense of light going on in here. And I'm not going to try to be too careful with it. I am going to put some warmth on these people down here. And I'm going to take some lavender. That's a great color. Alvaro uses that a lot. Andy Evenson uses that a lot. But I want to look at what a beautiful neutrals that makes. In fact, I'm going to put some of that over here so that light is coming, and this is going to help me define that light a little bit more by putting this in shadow.
Joe, what violet is that?
It's a lavender.
I mean, what? Oh, lavender. Okay.
It's just lavender.
Okay.
Yeah. And so that's going to be, reinforce that a little bit. I'm going to be fairly strong with this through here. This is all going to be glommed up with people. But I'm going to be kind of stronger with this through here. And actually, I can keep that. I'm not caring about any of the people right now. That's a beautiful neutral gray color. That's kind of cool. I love what happens. What happened with this, with those colors over the top of each other. Very cool. I'm gonna go to a smaller brush. I'm gonna go back to that lavender color. And I'm gonna get out my handy dandy wooden ruler. It's my old Illustrator trick. I don't care about these people yet. I see that I have some shadow on the other side of the street. Here's a car, here's a something, here's a something. And I see I'm going to have something at the top. I'm going to mix these two colors together. It's raw sienna and it's the lavender. And I'm going to get a lovely neutral color. Before this starts puckering up too much, I want to use this. I have to make it a little darker, I think. I just want to indicate this sidewalk. This a little stronger as it gets closer to us. I'm gonna have to get a bigger ruler. Longer ruler, yeah. Anyway, I'm doing this. I might reinforce this later, and I don't need to be that exact. I'm just trying to make these bigger as we go down toward the bottom. Kind of got off track there a little bit, so I'll just lift it. There we go. And once again, a little darker. Quite a bit darker. That's enough just to indicate something going on. And I think I will take that and put curbside in, going across. Doesn't really make a lot of difference. A few windows over here going down something happening over here, just to give me a reminder. I don't want this to be about this city. So I'm going to go to a slightly smaller brush, and I've got to get a little more dramatic in here. This is the light colored on the building. Here's my vanishing point right here. And so I am going to just not fake it. I'm going to go out from that vanishing point. And I'm not going to fake it. It's going to get a little wider up here. So I'll make a practice stroke and then just hit it. And I'm going to make this shape. And then I can go back and I can put some little stuff in there. I see what I'm going to have in that light pole. I'm going to put a few little verticals, not trying to be fussy at all. Here's I'm still following my perspective line. There's a line, and that's what that width is going to be for me. And these guys are going to get skinnier as they go back. And so it's starting to build. In fact, to reinforce this light down at the end of the street, I'm going to use that lavender and that sienna again to make a neutral. And I'm going to make it a little bit darker than I normally would. Let's see. Cut around that head, cut around that head. If I get off frame, please let me know. Putzing. I'm going to follow my little line that's coming up from that. I'll put a dot there just so you can see it. There's my vanishing point. There's my horizon line going across. And this gets bigger as they come up. Whatever these guys are, it doesn't really make any difference. And some of these windows, when they come up, they're going to be darker up at this end because they're closer to you. And I don't think I have to be literally accurate with a lot of this stuff. I'm going to put a little swipe. I'm going to wait for this to dry. I just need to know that that is going to be dark through this window area, but the paper is starting to pucker, so that's going to be an issue down the road. I'm going to reinforce, again, my vanishing point. I'm going to reinforce this walkway area by making this a little darker. And I'm not trying to be too cute with that. I'm just trying to make a reinforce that light. I didn't make that dark enough the first time. It's one of the things that happen. Watercolor always dries lighter, always, and sometimes I get caught. I want this to go from darker to lighter. Okay, we probably got enough stuff in here. I'm going to add a little bit of warmth back here, just as on the other side of the street, just to give it a little life. I do have my Andy Evenson palette working. I want to add a little depth again, or color again. And I see I have some, it must be, I see I kind of have a roof over here that I'm going to take advantage of. I just wanted a little spot of color there, actually. And I see that I'm going to add a little bit of that red color. I know we're going to put some of that in the flags. And I'm going to add some of it on this side of this storefront. Just because I want that connection. That's the word I'm looking for. Make sure that goes around the corner. And doesn't make any difference where this stuff goes. Basically, again, I'm trying to keep within the perspective lines that I've set up. Again, coming from here on up. That one's a little off, so I'll go back and correct it. Cool. Okay, after putzing and putzing and putzing, that's pretty much set up. Now I'm just going to take a neutral, and I'm going to make it fairly dark. But here's what I want to do. I know some of this is still wet. I'm going to indicate a little something happening over here while I can this car. And some of these, again, I'm using that line. I'm going right to that vanishing point. I'm just going to fake a couple little ledges and things like that in there. Don't need a lot of help. But what I want to do is I want to make this, these people, I don't want to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15. I'm not going to make all those people that paint them individually. I want to paint these as a group. And I can always go back and add later things. So I'm going to start here, and I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to paint that, and I'm going to paint this shape. And I want to make this a little darker. And here's a shape for the torso. Here's an arm. I'm going to paint this basic shape. This leg is going out in front, and this leg is going behind. So there's one. Here's another shape. Here's a shape that's got maybe a coat that's open, but it's whatever. And I'm staying on this horizon line. That's where everything is emanating from. Here's a shape. I'm going to leave that open. I'm going to make this person carrying something, doing whatever. This is another shape. This is that blue hat, so I'm going to leave that. Maybe leave a little highlight on her shoulder. I'll come back and catch that later. Here's the shape of her coat. And this person's walking, that person's walking. Here's the shape on her coat, which is going to go on down. I'm just following my drawing as much as I can. Here's the bag that she looks like she's carrying. And then I'm going to put in the leg that she's stepping on, and this is where she's actually coming from. Here's her bag, here's her collar. That'll make sense later. So she's stepping into the picture. This person, I'm going to put another shape just to try to make her stand out a little bit more. But again, it's just going to be a shape. I can go back and make that a color later on. And that's probably what I will do with it. Oh, look at all these people over here. Wow. There's somebody really far away. I want to make that. Again, just a shape. Wearing a hat, doing something. Carrying a backpack, just leaving some shapes in there, taking a step forward, taking a step backward. Same here, foot up, foot down. Bunch of people. I'm trying to paint this whole thing as one image, as one shape. Let's put it that way. And finally, these guys over here. There's that one shape. He's running kind of sort of for the, whatever, his legs going to go way out. Maybe his arms going out. And she is going to just be striding along. So I think we have a bunch of kind of believable shapes in there. While that's wet, I'm going to use a little bit of just orange to put a couple of these people in here. A lot of these people are walking away from us. Some are walking toward. She would be walking toward and away and toward. So I'm going to put a couple little shapes of some kind of warm color. And now I'm just going to start using a little blue. I think I'll make her right away. I'm going to make that blue hat and pick up that blue someplace else in these figures. It's just like those little stick people that we were doing, only more so. I'm going to leave her that color, I think. And I'm going to give him a bluer jacket. starting to come to life a little. I think that I will make this put a little bit more atmosphere in it. Get rid of some of that detail back here. Because I don't care about any of this, especially with this. Street scene being the primary part of these people walking across. I just need a smaller flat to start putting some of the darks in that are going to be necessary to make this look dramatic, more dramatic.
What is that you're painting with right there? It almost, on the video, it looks silver, but then it turns black.
Here?
Yeah,
That's a part of a contaminated palette, but it's some
metallic.
Yeah, it's some paints with alizarin. I mixed up all where I had the red, and I wanted it. For me, it's more about the value of the color at this point. So I lost my little. Oh no, I didn't. It's right there. Here's my vanishing point. So once again, I am going to use that. And I'm going to go up here and I'm going to turn that slightly because that's a slightly different angle. And so there's going to be a facade up there. That's going to make that street start to pop a little bit more. And I haven't added flags. I haven't added any of that stuff. I don't want this up here. I don't want that to get too busy because it means nothing to the painting. In fact, I'm getting rid of a lot of that. I'm getting rid of that white line. For example, I'm getting rid of a lot of this contrast. I don't want that contrast there. I want the contrast on down the street. See, that helped that immensely. It quieted that whole version of it.
You know, the painting's a little bit off the screen.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, tell me about that, please. I'm just going to straighten up a couple of lines which happen as you're painting this, and I definitely do have to add some darks. So I'm going to start doing that to see where my darks are and to see what dark is. So the first thing I'm going to do is do this light pole. And so there's my light pole. Here's something coming off of it up here. Here is my here's my traffic light, kind of sorta as much as that goes. I've got this street sign. This is the street sign that is the name of this, West 39th, which I'll go back and put stuff in there later. I've got a one-way sign. I've got a walk sign. I just got stuff. So right away, that makes it look more city-ish. I'm gonna put a couple little things way back here just to make it look a little more city-ish. And I see, because the perspective, I'm gonna have another pole going down the street, but it's not gonna be nearly as detailed or in it's just going to be to give it a sense of perspective. And there's something else happening down there, something across the street. I don't know what that is. I'm going to try to do this between. There's a van or a truck or something. Here's another one. Just something. This is just a indication of whatever. I'm gonna have to wait for that part to dry a tad. And I still think that I want a little more sense of light coming down this way. So I'm going to kill some of that and leave something that's going to indicate the street. No walk going across on that side. And I think I will do the same thing here. I'm just going to go through this, and these people will melt off a little bit, which is fine. And I'm going to add, just because I can, I'm going to add a little more warmth going down that street. Almost there for this exercise. I do have to, because I did just wet this. I am going to see if I can still do this guy. Something going on in there. I don't want it to be too important though. I mad scramble for brushes. Well, that's a good idea. I'm going to make those blue. Put one here.
How do you know when it's alive enough? It sure looks alive to me.
Alive?
Yeah, I mean, you always know how to continue to add the details that make it still pop, and I would have thought I was done a long time ago.
There's just a little bit, because I know what's going to happen when I take the tape off. I'm just trying to now that I've got all the stuff in there, I'm just trying to simplify it. Just a just a tad, because I think it's I just want to simplify it. It looks a little too busy. And when you get into a street scene, it is busy. I mean, there's no two ways around it. It's got lots of stuff going on in it. And I think that helped reinforce that light a little bit more. And I see that I want to kill that just a tad. This is going to be fine. And from here on, I don't have to do much of anything. And all I'm going to do right now to put a quick wrap on it, and then I'll look at it. I'll take the tape off and look at it. That's the whole secret is, am I done? I don't know until I take the tape off and look at it. So I'm going to say, okay, I see that I have, yeah, I have this, and I have this, and I have this, and I see that there's something over there, and something across the street. Let's see if I can find the right blue. Just for a little color going on through there, and I think I'm pretty much done. Except I just want to add a couple of little darks to, if I can get these to be dark enough to couple of these people. And then last thing is I'm just going to use a little bit of the white paint to go back and put on. That helps, doesn't it?
Mhm.
Just a little bit of a sparkle. And when I do that, I think just a little, a few places that I missed or I can't leave white for. I don't want to leave white for. And I can also do a lot of that with white pencil or just a pencil. Now I can take the tape off, I think, and see what I got. What I got, guys. Clean up the mess a little bit. See if I need that spot of red anyplace else or spot of color. Remember, always pull the tape away from the paper, away from that edge. Okie dokie.
Wow.
Here we have. It's a little putzing, huh?
Nice.
Great.
Very nice.
Anyway, that little trick with the ruler helped me quite a bit, and it's nothing more for those of you who forgot doing it. Or I think it just makes it a little cleaner. I know a lot of people who do cityscapes don't. I'm just grabbing this ruler, and all my fingers are the same as the bottom of the ruler, and so is my thumb. So when I set it down, they're all touching the surface of this paper at the same time. And it also has a little bit of an angle to it. So I'm going to grab the brush like I grab a pencil, and I'm going to look at this notch right here between my index and the metal, my index finger and the metal. And I'm going to place that V, I'm going to place it right on top. And if I'm holding the ruler steady, that means all I have to do is pull my arm. So I'll give you a little color or something here. So I'm just pulling my arm. I'm just pulling my arm. I'm not trying to do anything with my hand. I can press down and make it thicker. I can lighten up and make it thinner. I can do all kinds of stuff just with that one little thing. So that means I can make this post straight. I don't have to make everything straight, but as long as that post is straight, that's going to help me make it a little more believable. Does that make sense to you guys?
That was really helpful.
Mhm. Yeah, it makes sense. Whether I can put or not is another issue, is another question.
Now that I have the tape off, I'm taking just a little bit of that white paint, and now I can put this little guy walking. There, and I can put a one-way there, and I can put west 39th there, and that's really kind of all I have to do. I still see my vanishing point is right here. I'll put a white dot right there. There's my vanishing point. So I can still go back at the end and say, okay, that's kind of cool. That kind of corrected that. And just stuff like that. So this is going to be Neiman Marcus.
Not for long.
I know. Whatever. And so I think we've got a city that's kind of interesting. Maybe sort of. Anyway.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, it really is.
Again, I'm using my vanishing point. I never stop using that, ever, because when I try to fake it, it doesn't work. Anyway, so that just gives you a little clue as to how to put those people that we've been painting into a situation. So now they're in a scene, and I know that doing the city is a little bit different than doing the mountains, but anyway, it has its own kind of feel to it, and yada, yada, yada.
Yeah, but you can't really fake too much of it. I mean, of the basic stuff. Whereas
Well,
in the mountain,
here's what you can't fake. You can't fake the drawing.
yeah, and that's I'm really
That's the key to everything.
yeah.
if that's what you chose to do, you have to, as you say, you have some guides, and it's basically back to drawing, back to value.
Yeah.
So I don't care about little individual brush marks. I can get away with a bunch of stuff just by indicating it. These people look like they're moving to me,
Mhm.
and it wasn't from life class. It was just, you know, indication or suggestion. And that was back to doing all those little figures we've been doing.
Mhm.
And that's what they are. And the 1 point perspective is that's just a bunch of stuff that looks like buildings. It's not a particular building, but it looks like buildings.
Yeah.
So
The video for you.
Yeah, like something like that, I think might be a little easier for me to start with. Just
yeah,
'cause
that video, that's more of an intimate scene. This is, see, the people in here are rendered a little, everything is rendered a little bit more because it's more intimate. This, although it took a while, is still very suggestive.
Yeah.
And it looks like the light just changed and we're moving. It's time to walk. It tells me right here it's time to walk.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's either in the morning people are going to work or they're going home.
Yeah, whatever. And it's winter and everybody's, got a coat on, and I could pick apart each one of these little people separately, but as a group, that's all I care about.
Yeah.
As a group. And so it's just a slice of life, got to get to work. This is a slice of the old life.
Yeah.
Anyway. Oh, and I was just going to show you with, see, I don't care about this, but with this, here, with this white pencil, I can go back here and you guys can still see this. So I can go back here and I can do this and I can do this and I can do this. So see, that adds a little something to that, but I'm just using the pencil to do it.
Mhm.
That's all I care about.
And did you tape this, or are we gonna, or you already taped one of these? I think.
Did I tape it? Did I video it?
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Um,
No, I'll post it when it gets, I've got to clean it up and put a something on it. I can send you the raw link.
That would be, because for me, I'm not good at this kind of drawing. I haven't done very much of it, so I need to go, a huge. I like to have the video because I'm gonna have to go very slowly and,
I think
do.
we all feel that way.
Yeah, you're going to have plenty of reference. So
Yeah.
just take it. I've done this before, so you don't have to do it all in one sitting. I'm doing it because I have a time limit. I've got a time limit.
Well, also, you know what you're doing.
Well, that's why I've done it before.
Yeah.
So I'm going to know what to expect and what's going to happen with it.
Mhm.
But take it a piece at a time. And you'll see obvious stages. When I was putting down those first few washes,
Yeah.
just blocking in some shapes and figuring out where my vanishing point was and stuff like that. And of course, I went back and I reinforced the light. From the photo, it's not this. It doesn't have that light going down the street. So
Yeah, this is more interesting than the photo.
yeah. So I put that in there. But the photo was great for the figure reference.
Sure.
That's all I cared about. So anyway, that's kind of just an
Well, it's
indication.
not under YouTube yet, right? You have to post it.
It's going to go I'll send you, it's going to be when we get done with class, it goes to a cloud.
Is it going to cluster or is it going to email?
It's not going to cluster, it's going to Zoom.
Oh, to Zoom. Ah. So,
Zoom sends me a link because I put it up in the cloud to record. So they're going to send me a link And then I will send you the link to that.
Okay.
It's a viewable link, and then I've got to get rid of it in a couple of days before Monday.
Oh, can we download it?
You can download it.
Oh, great. Okay.
You can download it, or what I'm going to do with this one, as I did with the other one, is I'll make a YouTube video out of it. Only I'll unlist it until after the workshop.
Right.
I'll just unlist it because I don't want to give it away.
Right.
I also want to put a front end and a back end on it. You know, clean up all the dead spots and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, anywho, so there you got a couple of demos that are quite different than the Breaking Wave and Tahoe and all that. Anyway, you know what I think I'll do is just for reference.
Handle the big one. It's just going to take me a long time.
I know, but you could do this one too.
Yeah.
See, I'm just giving you guys that option. I like this because I like the pole being a third. I like her being in there. I like the flags. I like all this stuff. I like this person walking here. I like all this. I like this, period. Anyway, so there's another way to do it. In fact, I think I'll save this and put it in reference. How about that?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
West 39th, Vert. Okay.
Let's do Diane.
Yeah.
I can copy.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to say, okay, maybe that's my Neiman Marcus painting. Hey, that's not bad. That's not a bad design.
Yeah.
I mean, which one? Yeah, which one do you like the best?
I like the second one just because it looks a little easier.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm just saying that that's going to be easier because all these figures back here, there's only 1, 2, 3, kinda 4, 5, 6. There's only 6 figures in there that you have to pay attention to, and the rest of them are all just little brush strokes. So anyway, that's kind of fun. This painting was done with watercolor, and it makes me a better artist because of all the suggestion it'll give you if you let it.